And one of those opportunities was the Global Health Leadership Accelerator. And through scholarship and support from the Gates Institute, I attended a week-long intensive program on health leadership. So this is where you learn about personal mastery, how to create shared vision, how to create learning organization, system thinking, and and all of those kind of like unique skills that you need to be able to engage with the communities where you are. And it was very impactful, it was very eye-opening. It made it easier to address some of the very difficult questions that we have on the ground. Like how can we tap into the values and practices in our community, within our communities, without trying to be just random disruptors or just people who, you know, trying to change their communities without clear direction. And so when people are asking me or asking us in our work that what can we do for young people or how can we partner with young people, not only you need to fund young people, but you also need to invest in skills and capacity for young people. And sometimes maybe people don't know how to do that. But from my experience, I think taking young people through extensive leadership training, it's very important. We don't have to think that young people are not ready for this kind of capacity or training. They are, because they are already leaders in their community. They're already driving change. So what they need is just right tools, right skills for them to be much more impactful. Thank you.
Context of this course is 2-week course about leadership, basically course that we did a lot of round 2, and also some of the trainers now become also trainers. So the plan is to capitalize on youth who took also the training to educate also and provide the training to other young people. So that's the plan. And also keep in mind that after the panel we are going to ask you if you have any questions, comments, reflection on what's said. So be ready. I go back to you, Dr. Elizabeth. Why do you think, at your work that you do in the data and also in the light of the thematic area, we have one of the priorities about the transparency of data. What do you think also why it's really important to invest in leadership development for young people in the priority that we have at the Global Health?
Well, I guess I'm here to attest to our experience investing in leadership and how valuable and how impactful it's been so far at the Gates Institute. So, speaking as part of the leadership of Gates Institute, this is something that we really believe in. It is something that is a key pillar of our strategy. It's integral to our mission statement, and we have these programs: 120 Under 40, the Global Leadership Accelerator, the Summer Institute, and we have all these ways of investing in the leadership and the sort of next generation leadership of the future. But I want to come back to something that Otuk said, which I was going to say, but you said it so much better, which is we're not the future, we're now, right, in that song. And you reiterated it again. And I think that one thing that we've seen is that the youth leaders they're not the leaders of the future. They're leading right now out there in their communities, and all they need is a little bit of support from us. And when we provide that support, it has impact beyond anything that we might have done if we dropped it, right? Like that the youth are already leaders because they already have the passion, they already have the vision, they already have the connection to the needs of their communities, and so they're really the best people to support, right? So through 120 Under 40 and through the Global Health Leadership Program, we've trained over the past 4 years about 70 young leaders to go out into the community and really basically do what they were already doing. And it will not surprise anyone here to hear that when you bring together that energy and that innovation and you bring these leaders together and you provide a little bit of capacity of help with leadership, sort of concrete skills and concrete strategies, there's a synergy there. Right? And what comes out of that is sort of an acceleration of the pace and an expansion of the scope of what the youth leaders were doing already. And so just that little bit of investment makes such a huge difference. So, for example, some of our youth leaders they're developing strategic plans for sexual and reproductive health in their communities. They're leading surveys on COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy. They are, doing smart advocacy to sort of advocate for policy change in their communities. They're working through the Hive Media Project. They're doing these incredible things. And so I think we want to just attest to the power of that investment in already existing leadership and just giving those people who have that innate leadership support. So I think we've seen that power already, and we're kind of here today to talk about the next steps, which you talked about a little bit before, which is expanding the reach of the program. So in 2023, we've trained about 10 people who've been through the leadership program to take that program out into their regions and their communities and deliver it and sort of identify people in their own communities who have the vision and the energy to take the family planning and sexual reproductive health and justice forward in their own communities. And so I think we're really excited about that as the future, and particularly because it has the ability to be translated into the sort of context, right? Like, it doesn't have to be delivered just exactly as it was done the last time. It should be fed by the expertise and the experience and the context of the leaders themselves. And so we're really excited to see where that goes. And I think that's kind of why we think it's important, the experience that we've had of how impactful it can be and kind of our vision for the future. I think with that, I might actually pass it over to my colleague Kojo to talk about next steps from Gates.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. It's a pleasure to be here and just to see the energy, and it's always exciting to see the youth at work. And when you're looking for passion, you find it with the youth. You're looking for commitment, you find it with the youth. You're looking for a movement, you find it with the youth. The interesting thing is having the passion, having the commitment, having a movement going on, having sometimes the technical knowledge in different aspects of AYSRH and R, sometimes is not enough to take us overboard, right, across. I call it the oil that lubricates the machine. Leadership is it. And we've seen over the years young people being associated with leadership programs and the transformation it brings to their work. And Elizabeth has talked about the work that the Gates Institute has done over the years, and even much lately with support from some of our partners. I see Bea AG here, who has actively supported the young leaders transformation. And again, I'm happy to see two of my recent students this summer here, Aziza and Goodness. Interact with them and see, I'm not saying what I taught them is what has transformed them. But again, what it is that I bet it has done something, but then the desire to acquire leadership skills has been enormous. So the Gates Institute has historically supported leadership programs, and particularly the youth now. And Next Gen Leaders is one of the pillars, the 5 pillars of the Gates Institute. It's a major global program, and we are committed to doing it. We are committed to this global road of action. Let me just tell a quick story before I tell you what I've got up my sleeves. So I come from Ghana, and many years ago, the Gates Institute's leadership program for middle-level managers, we had an opportunity for somebody, a young parliamentarian, to come from Ghana and benefited from it. When I didn't even know this, but as I walked into the corridors of the Gates Institute, I started working there, I saw his picture there, in the name person of John Mahama, and he became a president of Ghana. Okay, he went through the Gates Institute leadership program, phenomenal. And of course, at the time, was a middle-level manager. And I think the evidence is out there. And so we would encourage those from various organizations donors, partners, to look at this movement that we have in the global road of action, right, roadmap of action, and see how we can partner and support this. I mean, there's nothing like being created by the youth and led by the youth. What I have up my sleeve this afternoon is to say that the Gates Institute is willing to put some seed fund into this AYSMH. But hang on, I mean, don't clap yet. What it is that we're looking for other donors to match this. Okay, and so this, I dare say that it will be triggered if I can get a few donors here to say that we'll match the amount that the Gates Institute is prepared to put in there. So we are putting out 50,000 as a startup, okay, this year to GRA, and asking for any donor here or partner here who would like to match us with that 50, which activates our 50,000. Do I have any hands up yet? I can see beautiful smiles. Any promise? I can see a hand almost going up somewhere. Anyway, but what it is here is that it need not happen here, but definitely from the Gates Institute, we are committing that 50,000 to the initiative to GRA now, hoping to energize and activate the regional programs and ensure that the cascade trading that has begun already continues. So that is what I had to add.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have few minutes if any of the participants want to comment, have a reflection, or have any question to the panelists if you are anything in your mind. Or you want to match the fund that you say. Oh, yes. Do you want to come closer so you have a mic? Okay. Please introduce yourself also.
Good afternoon. My name is Vilda Tim. I'm a young woman with disability in this space. So I want to thank your panelists so much, and it has been a great conversation. But then my question maybe to all of you, maybe one of you can answer. I heard one of the panelists talk of 10 people were trained, and then there's also this action towards bringing more young people. So my question is, in regards to disability inclusion, which is something that I'm so passionate about, how are you maybe making it intentional to bring such young persons with intersecting vulnerabilities to such spaces? Because for me, my experience is more of it's still something that is not being addressed even in the SRHR spaces. Thank you.
Well, I think what I'm going to say is, and thank you very much for that comment and that insight. And I think that one of the things that I talked about before is as we expand this program and go into the regional, we have left it to be improved and to be designed. It's not completely designed. And so I think, I think we're taking on board what you say right now about in these sort of future iterations and as it expands, that we need to be intentional about intersecting vulnerabilities and intentional about recruiting people with intersecting vulnerabilities into these programs. So I think that's a very helpful comment. Thank you.
And I guess if I want to also answer this, 2 days before the conference, many members of the GRA were meeting this coalition and this document that have some of the policies 1 year old, still have a space to grow. But I remember very well, like many of us were thinking about having partnership tracks with local communities for many social group, people with disability, LGBT community, many more representation, because it needs to feed to the policy and thematic areas that we are saying. So I guess we are intentional in doing this and engaging. And if you want to like just go to the website, sign for the website below. That's so we have your contact and we can initiate this conversation and see how we can integrate more diverse young people. We are acknowledging in this document that young people are not homogeneous group. There is a wide diversity of need that need to be addressed in terms of the not only the gender and all different people with disability, but also the context that where we are coming from and the challenges that we are facing our community. So I think we are intentional in doing this, and that's also one space that we are encouraging people to join this movement. So, and I guess this is one reflection that I like it about it, like youth movement have been fragmented for so long. And we lose the effort of being able collective in our work and intentional in our work. And it's really hard enough if you lose youth-led organization to advocate. So there is a space here to let's all collect our effort and be intentional and also loud enough to demand a voice, as the song is saying. So yeah, totally agree with your point you raised. Please. I guess the mic is behind. Can we have the mic here?
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. My name is Susina. I'm from VSO International and the Global Youth Engagement Manager. My question is, in terms of capacity building of young people for youth leadership around this topic, there are many initiatives and there are many resources around the globe. And how do we ensure that we keep the quality standard and make it more effective? And we do design, and we have also our toolkits and so on around youth leadership. And you have that moment. This was about 2 weeks, right? You mentioned, like, but it changed your life. So how do we ensure quality in such capacity building initiatives? Thank you.
I think you're in a better position to.
So I think the first thing is that the material is well curated, and also it's put together collectively with young people as well. And I did mention that we're having the 120 and the 40 leaders who are youth leaders actually trained to then do the cascade. Now, in terms of the quality of it, it's built into the program in terms of just the curriculum of it, ensuring that there is the rigor is there, the practicality of it, and a lot of it is very interactive. And maybe I mean, it would be good to hear from some of those that have benefited from it. But you come out of there over a 2-week period, feeling very energized and seeing the relevance within the scope that you work in. So yes, it's true there's a lot of material out there, but I think the structure of the program and how they bring the youth together, the interactive nature, the practical examples that are talked about, working on projects from your setting. So you work in groups and work from projects from your setting, I think brings about some rigor that allows the young people, the young leaders to actually apply it. I think that's how I'll put it. And of course, that is not to say that the course that comes out of this will be the only one. We encourage young people to tap into other resources, etc. But we want to make sure that we can support this movement to have youth leadership at its core, apart from the other pillars.
I guess do you have any final reflection on this, or two, if you want to share with us?
I think Kojo has put it well. And one key aspect of quality for me is relevance. Young people need something that they can actually practically use in their lives, right? And I think one good thing about the program is that it's co-created by young people themselves who are on the ground. So the theory is there, but the practicality of it is very much related to whatever is already going on. You know? And I think that's what makes the program, quality. Yeah.
I guess I have to wrap it up for this conversation, but we will be staying here after this. You can address any one of us about any question reaching out. And I guess thank you so much for being here for this conversation. And I guess I need to call it up for the second track, the power shifting. Yay! My favorite. So goodness.